If you're an educator, course creator, coach, consultant, service provider, or someone trying to build a business, I need to save you from a mistake that is costing you potentially years. Yeah, I said years. Because right now there are thousands of smart people spreading themselves across every platform imaginable. Posting on Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, posting everywhere. And then they're wondering why they're exhausted. Wondering why they're not growing. Wondering why they're not getting clients. Wondering why they're not selling courses. The truth? Most people don't have a content problem. They have a focus problem. One of the biggest mistakes educators make is assuming every platform serves the same purpose. They don't. In fact, Threads, Twitter, and LinkedIn are three completely different worlds. 3 different cultures, 3 different audiences, 3 different opportunities. And if you understand the difference, you can stop wasting time trying to be everywhere and start being effective somewhere. So today I want to break down the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and realities of each platform. Not based on theory, not based on platform marketing, but based on how they actually function if you're trying to build authority, grow an audience, sell courses, attract clients, and build a business around your expertise. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which platform deserves your attention. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Hayley. Welcome back to the Insert Here project. This channel is all about helping entrepreneurs, educators, course creators, service providers, and small businesses turn what they know into profitable assets, whether it's a course, a personal brand, consulting business, or an entire online education company. And one of the questions I hear all of the time is, which platform should I focus on? And honestly, it's a great question. But most people don't have unlimited time. Most people aren't full-time creators. They're building businesses after work, on the weekends, between client calls, during the naps, late at night, which means every platform decision matters. So let's start with the platform that has completely changed over the last few years. Twitter, or X, or whatever we're calling it this week. If LinkedIn is a conference room and Threads is a coffee shop, Twitter is a giant public debate. It's fast, ideas move quickly, conversations happen in real time. And if you're good at communicating ideas, Twitter can be incredibly powerful. The people who tend to succeed on Twitter, I find, are not necessarily the smartest people in the room. They're the people who can who can package ideas well. They can take complicated concepts and make them simple. They create curiosity. They spark discussion. They challenge assumptions. And for educators, that's valuable because education is fundamentally about ideas. The challenge is that Twitter rewards speed, consistency, opinions, strong viewpoints, and sometimes controversy. And not every educator wants to operate in that environment. Think about it this way. Twitter is a place where your ideas compete aggressively for attention. And if you love intellectual discussions, industry trends, future thinking, it can be incredibly good for you. If you prefer deeper relationship building, slower trust building, it can feel exhausting. One thing I love about Twitter is that its ability to connect you with smart people. One thing I dislike is that the attention moves very quickly. A brilliant post can disappear within hours, which means you're consistently feeding the machine. For some people, that's energizing. For others, it's exhausting. Let's move on to a platform that feels almost like the opposite because while Twitter often feels like a debate, LinkedIn can feel like a boardroom, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think LinkedIn is one of the most misunderstood platforms online because many people still think that LinkedIn is just an online resume. And honestly, it hasn't been that version for a very, very long time. Today's LinkedIn is a content platform, a networking platform, a thought leadership platform, and for educators, it can be incredibly powerful because the audience is already in the professional mindset. People open LinkedIn expecting to learn, expecting to grow, expecting to improve their career or businesses. And that is huge. It has huge advantage. You don't have to convince people that education matters because they already believe it does. Now, here's where LinkedIn is particularly powerful for course creators or consultants or coaches. Trust accumulates different there. People see your content repeatedly. They see your experience, they see your professional background, they see recommendations, they see connections. Everything works together to build credibility. It's like meeting someone at a conference like every week for 6 months. Eventually the trust starts to form naturally, and trust is what sells expert-based businesses. The downside, growth is often slower than people expect, and the content style can feel a little bit restrictive if you're trying to build a highly personal brand, although that is somewhat changing. People are becoming a little bit more human on LinkedIn, more vulnerable, more authentic, and I think that is creating enormous opportunities on that platform. Now let's talk about the newest player in this comparison, and honestly, the one I think many educators are underestimating, Threads. Threads feels different, and that's its biggest strength. When I think about Threads, I don't think about broadcasting. I think about it conversation. It feels less polished, less corporate, less performative, more casual, more approachable. It's like sitting at a cafe talking with people instead of standing on a stage presenting to them. And for educators, it does create an interesting opportunity, because education isn't just always about sharing information, it's about connection. People just don't buy courses because their content is good. They buy because they trust the person behind the content. Threads is creating an environment where trust can develop naturally. You can share observation, lessons, thoughts, behind the scene moment, small wins, small failures. And because the platform feels so conversational, those posts often perform surprisingly well. Here's the challenge. Threads is still evolving. The long-term opportunities are still being discovered, and monetization platform pathways for it aren't exactly clear as other ones. But if your goal is building relationship, visibility, and community, I think Threads deserves far more attention than people are giving it. Now, here's where I think people get stuck. They keep asking which platform is best, but that's actually the wrong question, because there is no best platform. The only best platform is for your goals. If your goal is professional authority, attracting consulting clients, then LinkedIn is incredibly strong. If your goal is sharing ideas, building thought relationships, and engaging in industry conversations, then Twitter can be powerful. If your goal is potentially building relationships, creating community around your personal brands, then Threads has huge potential. The problem that people choose with platforms is based on trends instead of choosing them on strategy. And that's why I feel like people are ending up frustrated. Now let's make this practical. If we were building a business around education today, here's how I would think about it. I wouldn't choose a platform based on where everyone is. I would choose a platform based on where my ideal audience spends their time, because that's what matters, not platform popularity, audience proximity. If my audience were business owners, consultants, and professionals, then I'd probably lead heavy into LinkedIn. If I wanted to become known for ideas or industry thoughts, I might invest my time in Twitter. If I wanted to build relationships or a personal brand, maybe I would focus on Threads. And here's something important. You don't need to win at all three. You only need to win on one, at least initially. Because focus creates momentum, and momentum creates growth. I have a client who, when we first started working together, wanted to be on everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. And I had to sit them down and be like, that's such a waste of your time, energy, and money. Where is your audience? Where are your customers? Where are they hanging out? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok, Threads, Twitter? Think about it from that perspective, not trying to be everywhere at once. You're going to burn yourself out. It's bad for your business. It's bad for you. So pick one or two and focus your energy on there. which is exactly what we did. After going through their business, talking about their strategy, their ideal clients, their current customers, and looking at where they were hanging out, that's how we decided to focus our time on LinkedIn and Instagram, because that's where our audience was. So, which platform is best? The answer is frustratingly simple. It depends. Not on the platform, on the outcome you're trying to create, because platforms are tools. And just like a hammer isn't better than a screwdriver, one platform isn't automatically better than the other. The real question is, what are you building? Who are you serving? And where are those people already paying attention? Answer that question and your platform of choice becomes so much easier, because success doesn't come from being everywhere. It comes from showing up consistently in the right places. And I think that's where everyone needs to hear that, okay? You don't need to be everywhere. I'd love to know, if you could only choose one platform for the next year, would you choose Threads, Twitter, or LinkedIn? And more importantly, why? I'd love to know your thinking. And if you're interested in course creation, branding, social media, online education, and building a business around what you know, make sure you subscribe, because that's exactly what we talk about here on the Insert Here project. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, the best platform isn't the one with the most users, it's the one that helps you build the right relationships. I'll see you in our next